Well, welcome back.
It feels weird because we haven't actually recorded in a couple weeks, but due to the upload schedule, no one will know.
No, they probably do know, but it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, our people that listen every single week, they definitely know.
Today's episode,
we're doing Reddit stories.
more personal, financial. Hopefully not horror stories.
No, I think I did pretty good finding a mix of them this time. So we're not just reading people's situations like, oh, I have this much money. How do I solve this problem?
Yeah.
I found a good array
I think
of
those are
things.
actually interesting though, because people can relate to them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
if you think about the biggest financial shows or the biggest educators or the most consistent podcasts or anything like that, I mean, it's really created off people's situations, right?
Yeah.
Like I could talk about financial strategy all day long, but the difference in topics isn't going to be there, right? So I think it's actually interesting to go off other people's situations because it can be customized to, your own situation at home. So,
Well. Are we ready?
no, I'm ready.
Okay.
I'm ready.
First story. It's titled, I work 2 full-time jobs and I'm still broke. What am I doing wrong?
It could be a number of things here.
2 full-time jobs. Okay.
Working 2 full-time jobs and still broke.
Yep.
So I think it's interesting that many people think that they have a cash flow problem, but in reality, they have a cash direction problem.
Okay.
So somebody with 2 full-time jobs. Now, there's not a lot of context there. So
What are the jobs? How much are they making?
Yeah. So I mean, there could be a situation where they live in San Francisco and they make $20 an hour at each job. So
yeah.
Yeah, in that case,
not feasible.
Yeah, in that case, you either need to change your location or change your raise your skill sets. That way, you earn more, or a combination of the two.
Okay.
So that might not be a cash direction problem, but that could actually be a cash flow problem. But that's not typically the case. The case is
most of the time it's cash direction.
Yeah, typically when people are like, oh, I have a cash flow problem, but they don't sit down and look at their bank statement over the last 90 days and realize that they spend $700 a month on whatever impulse spending it might be. It could be clothes, it could be food outside the house, it could be coffee, it could be alcohol, it could be whatever it may be, right? Because that's kind of their coping mechanism for getting to the next day. But what they don't end up realizing is that it's actually costing them 30% of their income before taxes, before actual spending of rent, mortgage, utilities, gas, things like that.
Okay. Well, I'm going to read you their story.
Okay.
I'm 23. I have debt I'm trying to pay off for my mother, negativing 3 credit cards in my name and them closing. All right. I wasn't expecting it to start like that. I had to leave college to make more money by getting another job. Roughly, the credit card debts total to $5,000. I also have a surgery that was about $7,000 after insurance. My regular bills, phone, subscriptions, and foods total out to be $180 a month. I don't pay rent. I don't have a car either, which I've been trying to find extra money to save for, but I'm already exhausted working 2 jobs. Also, since leaving college, I don't start back in 6 months. Or if I don't start back in 6 months, I'll have to start paying my debt, which is already at $4.6K. My first job I'm at full time is $15.50 an hour with no benefits taken out. $1,880. Sorry, that was not happening. $1,880 after taxes monthly. My second one is full time at $12 an hour, making $1,320 monthly after taxes. Total, I'm bringing in $3,200 monthly. Right now, I'm paying $750 total, all credit cards, and $180 in bills. $1,200 my surgery debt monthly, which leaves me at roughly $1K a month. Now with this $1K, I have to. Oh my gosh, this person didn't use any punctuation. That's why I'm struggling. I was like, why is this so bad? There's no punctuation here. So I'm sorry when I don't know a sentence starts and ends. Okay. Anyway.
Now we know why it's $12 an hour.
Yes. Right now I'm paying $750 monthly total, all credit cards, total $180 in bills, $1,200 to my surgery debt monthly, which leaves me roughly $1K a month. Now, with this $1K, I have to pay $15 each day for Uber to work and from work, which total is $640 each month. That's ridiculous.
Said there's a $700? So you could actually just leave the second job and keep the same amount of money at that point.
That is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're starting to see like there's a cash direct. See, that's why I was like cash direction versus cash flow.
If you're paying $640 a month, there's definitely a better solution. You could buy a car your car payment.
And pay less than $640 a month.
That is wow.
Yeah.
Okay, $640 each month after tips, leaving me about $360 at the end of each month that I put towards my savings. But I do have a sick cat that takes the remainder of my money for meds and vet visits, which regularly negatives my account. Any advice? Paying less to my surgery isn't an option because I fear I'm going to go to collections due to not paying enough. Please no judgment. I'm still learning the ins and outs about debt and credit and all that.
I have so many cat jokes right now. What do you do with the cat that costs you $500 a month?
Well, he's got the most expensive cats on the earth.
Oh, me?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we do.
Sphinx cats.
Sphinx cats. They're not $4 cats. But
No, they're not from the shelter either.
No,
they're not. You didn't just pick them up off.
Yeah, they're so cool though. Okay, so first red flag is the short-term travel cost, the Uber, the Lyfts. $700, almost $700 a month. That's when I was talking about cash direction versus just cash flow issue. So like you can find that in your finances. So one good thing about these stories is typically for them to type the story, they have to go through it.
Yeah. They have to sit down and think about, they have to do the spreadsheet basically, but without doing it.
Yeah. They actually have to look at their bank statement and go like, where's my money actually going? So they're actually solving the first step, or actually practicing the first step and figuring things out, which is actually kind of cool. They're doing it accidentally, but doing it nonetheless. So that's the first cash direction problem. The cat, people and their pets, let them
have the pet.
I'll let the cat go for now. But so the second job that's $12 an hour, what is it? And I know he doesn't say.
It doesn't say.
But like, I want you to be asking yourself that if I get paid $12 an hour and it makes me $1,000 a month, and I spend 700 of that on travel to that job, could I do something else somewhere else closer for extra $300 a month? I would say yes.
Yes, there's absolutely something that you can do that maybe even has more hours that fit your schedule better.
Yeah, so you can start thinking of different options and decision making like that. But another big one here is the $1,200 a month medical bill. If the medical bill was $7,000, first of all, the $1,200 should pay it off very, very quickly because typically no interest on medical bills. Secondly, what you can do is you can call and negotiate that. You can actually let them know, like, hey, I can't pay $1,200 a month. I can pay you $100 a month.
Oh.
And that'll free up $1,100 because they're not going to send you to collections as long as you're sending them something. They will put you on a plan. So medical bills are actually the easiest debt to negotiate out of any debt whatsoever.
Wow.
Medical bills is number one easiest.
Someone needs to get this information to Attempt Business 6646, and it can't be me because I'm still banned.
Still banned for commenting and posting and helping.
Yes. So somebody can tell that to Attempt Business 6646. It won't be me, but you should definitely do that.
Yeah, you can negotiate that. You can call them and let them know, like, look, I can't pay $1,200 a month. I can pay you $100 a month, and they'll go, here's the plan and how you set that up. Here's the form to fill that out.
Incredible.
So that'll immediately save you $1,100 a month, and you can change whatever decision making on the second job because you're having to travel at a ridiculous rate anyways.
Yeah.
So between those two decisions, that probably saves you a couple grand right off the rip.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think that the Uber, I mean, even if you could, he says he's trying to save for a car, but if you're spending almost $650 a month on just Uber, you could get a car for a payment less than $400.
You already own the car.
Yeah, I've never seen anything like this. Do people actually do this?
Oh, every day. I would be interested to know where they live. They didn't say where they lived.
They didn't say, but
So that could be city. That could be a number of places.
I mean, I'd be buying a bike. I would be buying a used car. I would be taking the bus,
What was
train.
your first car? You had a
Hyundai Elantra.
Yeah, Hyundai Elantra.
Yep.
Yeah.
And she was $5,000.
Yeah. See.
Yeah.
Like if he did those things, he could have that $5,000 car in less than 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
3 or 4 months.
So I'm looking at the comments because usually we kind of go through them. I don't see anything that's really interesting.
Okay.
So nobody really gave any horrible advice or great advice either.
They said save and don't use credit cards.
Like there's one, the top one, I'll read you the top one. It says, they're referring to where he says, right now I'm paying $750 monthly total, all credit cards, and $180 in bills, $1,200 surgery debt. They said the entire point of working 2 jobs that is a temporary situation to clear up these debts. In 6 months, once you have paid off the surgery and credit card, you have $180 in bills and $2,950 extra per month. You're currently in a hole, working to get out of that hole. This has to be the first step before climbing the mountain of financial independence. And he said, okay, thank you. So he's just telling them to pay off his debt, which is not helpful.
Yeah.
Because he's asking how to do it better.
Yeah.
So, okay. That's basically all the comments. They're not very helpful.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there any last words to this story?
Nope.
Okay.
I'm set.
All right. You're going to love this one.
If you guys are enjoying this, don't forget to like and subscribe because it helps the channel.
It does. It really does. Send it to your friend.
All your friends.
Yeah.
Because everyone can use financial literacy.
It's so true. Okay.
And at some point, I'm going to say something that goes against the fixed mindset mob, and then
everyone's going to be mad at you.
It'll be fun. And the mind virus will be attacking Todd.
Yes. Okay. This one is titled, Would It Be Dumb for Me to Buy a House?
No.
I honestly didn't even read the story. I just read the title and I was like, this is the one. All right.
Moving on.
We're going in blind. I am single, no kids, in my 40s, living with my mother. I moved home 4 years ago because I got a better job that required me to go back to school so I could get licensed, and moving home was the only way I could afford to go back to school. I'm going to be making $72,000 to $76,000 a year in a few weeks. I have around $12,000 in credit card debt, and I am aggressively paying it off. My old student loans have been forgiven, and I paid cash for my latest education. My FICO score is currently 666, no joke, and the only negatives are the high usage of my credit cards and 3 late payments, 90 plus days, to my student loan 5-ish years ago. I have about $6,000 saved and about $40,000 in 401k. Got it?
Okay. Well, there's no surprise that his credit score is what it is, and he has a 401k focus, but...
All right. My first time.
Because it's the devil reincarnated as a quote-unquote retirement plan.
Well, yes. Okay. For the first time in my life, home ownership might not be an unreachable dream.
In the comments, I want to know how many people that listen to us consistently, the second you heard 40K and a 401k, you went, oh boy.
Yeah. How many of you said, oh, wow.
I know what the next comment's going to be.
The second the word 401k leaves my mouth when I'm reading these stories, they already know what you're going to say. Okay. For the first time in my life, home ownership might not be an unreachable dream. I found out I qualify for about $30,000 in down payment and closing cost assistance. I know there are a lot of ifs and variables, but it looks like a $200,000 house will cost me around $1,200 to $1,600 monthly, including tax/insurance. Right now, it's hard to find a 1-bedroom apartment that's under $1,800 a month. I understand finding something in my budget may be hard, but I've got nothing but time to look, and the longer I wait, the more I can save. My mother doesn't think that getting a mortgage is a good idea. Her opinion is that I should sit with a financial planner, invest my money, and I would be able to pay cash for a house in a few years. She thinks I can turn my money into $1 million in about 5 years. Is my mother right? Can my money grow that fast with minimal risk? Would I be dumb to buy a house in the next year or two? Thanks for any advice. Edit. Yes, I know credit balances are high, but I'm planning to pay them off over the next 6 months or so. I have already taken my highest interest card down to about $2,000 from over $6,000.
So I don't think the credit card balances are a problem.
Yeah, we've gone over this.
Yeah, they don't take that much. Is his mother right about growing essentially $40,000?
Yes.
Into $1 million in 5 years with minimal risk? No.
Okay.
No. Can you grow 50 grand into $1 million in 5 years? Yes, without question. I've seen me do it, but it wasn't with zero risk, minimal risk,
and it wasn't with zero experience.
It wasn't with zero experience. It wasn't with zero work.
Yeah.
So that what he was talking about was like, oh, you put it in the market and it becomes $1 million with minimal risk. That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
What you can do is you can raise your skill set level, and at that point, you're going to start finding better value at a discount. So you can go find the $250,000 house for $140 because someone's got a problem. They need out of it. They want out of it, and they want to give you the house for $140, $150, and then you go turn it for $250 and you make $100. But you got to go do that a dozen times. You know what I mean? You got to go do that half a dozen times depending on the deal. You have to buy things at discount that are going to be able to cash flow. We're talking about real estate, obviously, at this point. But at that point, that's more active and earned than it is just passive or invested. So in my opinion, no, the 40 grand is not going to turn into $1 million with minimal effort, minimal risk due to that mindset.
Yeah.
On the question of should I buy a house? Yeah, why not? I don't love the down payment assistance stuff. I don't love that because you just have no equity then. Unless you're buying value at a discount. If you buy a $350 house, well, he said he could afford $200? $250? $200. So if he could find a $200 house at $160 because it needs flooring and paint, and like that is a very doable thing, very realistic thing, that's different.
Yeah.
But mostly the way people talk about it and the way people think is like, I'm going to go spend $200 because my monthly payment can be that high and I can get down payment assistance. And then if there's any struggles or changes in life, they struggle to make their payment. And then that's what gets them in trouble. So these assistance programs that are for down payment, rent assistance, all the things like this, actually keeps people poor.
How does it work? What do they do?
People actually believe that it's actually getting them ahead, but it's actually keeping them poor because they have zero equity. What does it actually do? How does it actually work?
Like what is the program?
So it's a third party program. So like let's say in your house buying it traditionally, you paid $100 for your house. I'm going to round some numbers. You pay $100 for your house, you put $20,000 down, right? And then the bank gives you the last 80%, and then you have 20% equity, right? Yes, your money's invested, but you have some room there to be able to sell and move. You're not going to be underwater.
Yeah.
Down payment assistance is a third party program where, let's say the house is $100,000, they're going to bring that 20 for you.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean.
Or the bank brings that 20 for you, allows you to put nothing down. Yeah. But the problem is that you then are like there's no equity in the house then. That's the issue.
Okay.
So if there's any changes in your life financially whatsoever, you have more difficulty selling or difficulty moving it. So there's a very high chance that you end up underwater at some point. So it's the programs, they're very good marketing tools. They're very, very good at looking very good. Okay. But they aren't very good at performing in your life and actually being a benefit to you.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
So in his case, I can't remember what he has saved up, $6,000-7,000, something like that.
$6,000.
So he's got $6,000 saved up. So that's enough to start getting into a property. I don't know if it's going to be $200,000. There are different programs where you can put, an FHA, you can put 3.5% down. His credit is high enough to grab an FHA, first time home buyer program style debt. Yeah, you just did.
I just did. I know you rounded up to 20,000, but I think you forgot I put 5,000 on my house. Yeah, actually, no, I put like $2,800 on my house.
Yeah, you got money back because you put more earnest money down.
I put 5,000 earnest in, and then I got money back at closing because I only needed to put 5,000, or $2,800, something like that.
Yeah, because we wanted to strengthen your offer.
Yeah.
That you bought the house for less than 100 too. So I mean, you did fantastic. But see how good of a situation you're in now? Yeah. That's my whole point.
Yeah, and he wouldn't be in that if he took the assistance.
No, he would be 100, 105% of value depending on fees, paperwork, origination, all that. So it doesn't become as good of a situation as they make it sound to be.
I wonder where he's living.
Just remember that. How about this? Remember this rule. If a bank offers you something, okay, what are they a charity or are they a for-profit entity?
Well, of course they're a for-profit entity.
Exactly. So if they're offering something, it's not for you. It is always for them.
I'm going to tell him this. If I could, I would.
It is always for them. So if they're offering you all these things, it's because they are going to make more in the long run, not because they want to do you a solid.
Okay. I'm looking at the comments.
I think you should buy a house, though.
No, I agree. I think they're like on the way to they have a plan. Like they're doing a good job. Yeah. Like they sound like they like
he's together.
Yeah. 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 Okay. Just a lot of the comments are like, I wouldn't move now. You don't seem like you're very stable in making like a house payment, like a mortgage payment. Like
it's less than rent.
You can't have minimal money in the bank and take responsibility of owning a home, is what they're saying.
I don't disagree with that statement, but that goes to the down payment assistance.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
Somebody said, you should forget home ownership for the immediate future. You're in your 40s with little assets and $12,000 in debt. Even though $76,000 a year seems like a huge salary, you have little time to make that money work for you into retirement. Buying a home not only comes with the mortgage costs, but also the cost of HOA fees, included taxes, maintenance fees, and much more. So people are like, don't do it.
If he's not working right now, because he was changing jobs.
He's in school. So.
Yeah. So what's that 401 doing?
I have no idea.
It's dead. Not doing nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's $40,000 in a 401. Take it out.
Use that as your down payment.
Honestly. That's not a bad idea. That's our solution. Use your 401k.
Yeah, like.
Sorry.
There's some cases with 401s too that you're actually able to withdraw for a home purchase and not have the same level of penalties or fees. Yes. At the end of the day, though, that's depending on the person. Like, do they want to bet on real estate or do they want to bet on the stock market?
A lot of people, like, they're just not very optimistic. Like the comment says, I would make peace with living with your mom.
Well, there's a lot of unhappy out there. I mean, we are fighting against the hatred of the eternal realm.
Like,
you know what I mean?
Someone
So,
said
like,
the idea that you can turn 70K and come into 1 million in the market in 5 years is preposterous.
trying to be the light in the dark, Aisley.
I know.
Okay, light in the dark.
The flashlight is we're like,
Yeah, please.
we're banging it, trying to get it to turn back on right now.
Yeah, hitting the batteries right now.
Yeah. Okay. Story number 3. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
This one is from Prestigious Sweet Pea.
God, that's awesome. The answer is yes.
Okay. It says starting from nothing, ? That's the title. So this one's titled Starting from Nothing.
I love it.
For those of you that have built wealth from absolutely nothing, where did you start? Investing, specific jobs. My boyfriend was kicked out at 16, got his GED, and has spent the last 8 years fending for himself. He has never been able to save a penny as every dollar has gone towards rent, food, and other necessities. He doesn't have a car, any insurance, or a stable place, and couch surfs most of the time. He has been desperately searching for better job opportunities, but has been stuck in the labor field for some time. Due to having to move around so much, he's never really moved up in these labor companies. He doesn't know where to start. Most of the money goes towards rent and groceries, with maybe $10 to spare each month, if that. He has spent hours researching and applying for better jobs, but it really seems like there's nothing out there that doesn't require hundreds of thousands of dollars to get into.
Escape the W-2. You have to escape the labor force. Like that thing. You have to escape that thinking. So the first thing you have to do is you have to invest in yourself. And you have to invest in your mindset and how you are thinking. So it's great that they're asking questions because that's probably the real first step for them. And then the next step is raising your skill sets and investing everything that you make from your new mindset into the skill sets to raise your skill sets to actually increase your income to a point where you're not going to be looking for jobs.
So what would be first thing you do if you're him?
So if I'm him, I was him.
Right. You have $10. What are you doing?
Yeah, that's exactly $1 less than I had when I closed my first deal. So wow. I guess he's in a little tougher position. Okay. So in that scenario, I'm looking for every possible way for me to get better at something. So at this point, I'm starting to research. I'm buying a book on, in my case, wholesaling, right? So I'm buying a book on wholesaling. I am watching any free training that I possibly can on understanding how to solve a problem in real estate for somebody. Like, that is why I believe real estate is the greatest industry on the planet. You never have to own it. You never have to control it. And you never even have to put money up for it, but yet you can get paid by it.
Yeah. And now what people are thinking if they're new to this podcast and they're like, you never have to own it, then how are you working in real estate?
Yeah, exactly.
So
buy
if you can't wholesale after this.
Yeah. Seriously. For $15, you can learn. Like, let's talk about that for a second. So for $15, you can buy If You Can't Wholesale After This, I've Got Nothing For You, right?
Yeah.
For $15 or $10 for whatever the Audible is, it's probably $10, $12, or if you have an Audible, if you have a credit, right? Yeah. Or you can buy the ebook for $10 or $12, whatever it is. You can own information that will allow you to be paid forever. So if you think about the skill sets that I teach in that book, right? For $15, you can learn a skill set that has paid people millions of dollars over the years. So right now, if you're stuck in the labor force, right, and you're thinking, I can never get out, do you have $15? Can you think of a way to create $15 to learn a new skill set that has the ability to pay you forever? You can learn a new skill set that changes the direction of your family tree for $15. But people don't think like that.
No.
People think like, oh, to change my trajectory, I have to go to college for $120,000 or $40,000 or $80,000. When in reality, you can do it for $10. But you have to make the decision.
Finding the right $10, like where
exactly.
you spend it.
Yeah. And the way that you do that is through practice.
Yeah.
But what's funny is the moment you start investing in yourself like that, you'll realize that there is no bad self-investment. I could spend $50,000 on a mastermind right now. And let's say it's the worst mastermind I've ever been a part of. I will still learn something from it. I will still create an extra amount of capital above and beyond that 50 than I would have if I wouldn't have done it.
Yeah. And I think the first thing would just be put that $10 towards something like a book, some sort of self-investment.
Yeah. Because don't try and save it. You already have nothing. So, what's saving done for the past 8 years? Nothing.
It just sounds like I don't even know. It doesn't really say. Obviously, $10 isn't much at all.
Yeah.
But it just says that sounds like he just spends the $10.
What's funny is that if there's only $10 left over, most people probably doom and gloom in the comments. But if you think about it, it's enough.
Yeah, it is. It's
That's
enough
how
to make a change.
That's how little it takes.
Yeah.
That ridiculous number is actually enough.
Enough to start something.
Yeah.
Yes. There's the comments. You guys on Reddit, if you're watching this and you're in r/personal finance, you guys suck today. This is bad. The top comment, 59 upvotes. 59 people agree with this.
Yeah.
Start with getting a job that pays more, period.
Good job.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Like that wasn't the whole the whole point of this was her asking, how can I help him get a better job or get a better financial situation?
Just make more. Again, it kind of goes back to the cash flow direction problem. You're not actually necessarily going to solve it by just making more. It's a huge factor of your wealth creation. So to her question of, for anybody that's created wealth from actual nothing, one, just understand that it's possible and doable, and two, that most millionaires, a super high percentage of them are first generation.
Yeah.
So they're not coming for money to begin with. They chose to think differently, and then learn differently, and then act differently, and therefore they have a byproduct of a different result.
There's actually one good comment. I'm gonna give you guys some points back.
That's probably me.
You're never going to get ahead in life based on, first of all, start with you're never going to get ahead in life. You're never going to get ahead in life based on your physical labor opportunities. You get ahead by what's between your ears. You have to develop a skill that is not every single person on the planet has, which is physical labor. Get a skill like certifications or something, get a degree, and even a trade degree can get you $40 to $60 an hour within just a short couple of years experience. There's even some 6-week certifications such as fiber optic technician that can get you $25 to $30 an hour. Invest in yourself somewhere. So they're on the right track.
Yeah, I like that answer a lot.
It sounds like they just only think that you can go to like college or get a certification, but like the way that they're talking,
get your own certification with a $15 book.
Yes.
I don't care what book it is.
Yeah.
But pick a skill set. I don't care if you want to do e-com, real estate, trading. I don't care what you want to do, but just figure out a skill set that you want. Figure out a skill set that you want to grow in.
Yeah. But this person, other than that, this comment's a really good one.
Yeah, and start trying things.
Yeah, this one needs to be at the top. I'm going to upvote it. Okay.
How many times can you upvote it?
Once. It's a 7 upvotes. Okay.
That one has no upvotes. It just has downvotes because people are like, that's not how life works.
Yeah. Oh, you can't use your brain?
Yeah. Silver spoon.
Okay. Do you have anything else to say about this one?
Nope.
Okay.
I feel good about that one.
All right.
Especially ending with that last actual decent comment from somebody.
Okay. This one's a little bit different. Investing in a friend's company.
Ooh.
Okay.
I just got a couple questions about this the other day, actually. So I'm actually excited about this one.
Okay. Investing in a friend's company. Hello. I have a friend of mine that owns a software consultancy company in the US. He recently approached me with a proposal for me to invest about $50,000 US in exchange for 5% of his company. He has been running the company for a couple years now. I don't have many details about the company financials, so that's pretty much it at this point. I want to consider investing in his company, but want to do the due diligence to the company financials or in the company financials and the documents to prove my ownership in case I invest. How do I vet all of this? Is there a lawyer or someone I can approach and get help with this? My main goal is that I want to make sure I am putting my hard-earned money into the right thing and my friend is not bluffing something. What are the details I should ask him to get started? I can express my interest, but he may think I am fully committed. How do I let him know that I want to consider the investment provided I can verify everything? This person is a neighbor who became a friend recently, so I don't know any other background on what they do or their financial status.
So friend might be a stretch.
I was going to say maybe acquaintance.
Yeah, friend's a stretch after that last detail.
Neighbor.
But I think but either way, it's actually good to understand and practice like, hey, how do I invest in a company if I want to invest in a company? And the first thing you have to do is if you want to run yourself through a decision-making quadrant of like, will my money come back to me? Right? So if that's never not a yes, you don't move forward. And then you can start looking at like, hey, what's my actual return on my money going to be? Is there any tax benefits? Do I share in the growth of the company? That kind of deal. So if he's going to put 50 grand in for 5% of the company, the first thing he has to do is check the actual valuation of the company. So if he's giving 50 grand for 5%, but the company makes 75 grand a year, or the consultant makes 100 grand a year, that That's a really interesting layout. Like, you should be getting 50% of the company because the valuation is much lower than $1 million at that point. So if he's putting 50 grand in for 5%, they're assuming that the valuation of the company is around $1 million.
I was going to say, ideally, what would it be? So $1 million, you think?
For valuation, all you have to do is the math.
Okay, well, you can do that in your head. I can't, so I'm asking you to tell me.
Okay, $1 million.
Okay, $1 million. Thank you.
So 5% of $1 million is 50 grand.
Right. Okay.
10% would be 100 grand. Easy
Very good. Okay.
Well, I'm just saying, teaching a little trick. Like, you can just cut that in half.
Okay.
There's my number. So they're automatically assuming that this is $1 million company, right? And then you can start looking at other situations, and you can start asking yourself, well, what's my involvement, and how do I get paid back? Okay. So if you're only being paid in shares, you're more so thinking like, okay, the whole goal is for this capital to improve the value of the shares of the company. That's how I'm going to be paid. Let me give you an example. First education company. Let's say I put in $1,000, right? Now at the end of that, if the company was worth $5 million or $10 million, that share, and there was 100 shares. I know I'm doing math right now. Just stick with me. Each share would have been worth $100 originally.
Okay.
Right? So, I'm sorry, $10.
I was going to say that doesn't sound right.
Sorry. Each share would have been worth $10 originally, right? Now, when I left, let's just say the valuation was $5 million or $10 million. Each share would have been worth what? $50,000, $100,000 at that point. So the whole point, if you're a shareholder, is you want to grow the value of the shares because that increases that's the best way to increase your net worth.
Yeah.
Right? Now, it's all useless unless you have the ability to transact that share value. So you have to be able to sell it. So that's why you see, so if you're starting to think about the stock market and IPOs and things like that, that's just them selling their share value and trying to raise the value for their investors.
Okay.
That's a very quick crash course on share valuation and how to actually value a company.
No, this is actually good because I had no idea. I'd never thought about investing in a company, so I don't know how this works.
Yeah. So I just went through this discussion with somebody the other day, actually, and it was the same number. It was 50 grand also. So this is some of the same situations that her and I were talking about. So another piece is, okay, so how do I get paid back? So if it's over the long haul, if I want to be increasing shares, do I sell my shares? How do I actually get paid back? Depending on the type of the business, it could be royalties, you could be a line of credit. There could be a number of ways that you get paid back. Do I get paid back first before another investor? Where's my money actually going? These are all questions that you have to ask. Now, the other piece is, if it's a consultancy business, is it an actual business, or is this guy just an independent contractor? And if he goes away, is your money just gone?
That's really important here.
Is this an actual business?
Yeah.
Is this an equity style business or a cash flow style business? I'll give you another example in my own life. Our real estate portfolio, it can be both. It could be cash flow because it pays us every month, but really it's an equity style business. I could go away and the real estate's still there, right? I could even sell it to somebody and that piece of real estate's still there. It's still a piece of equity for somebody else at that point. So if you have an equity style business, there can be other players and other people can be trained to fulfill roles in which the value can still be increased. So if this is a cash flow style business, typically cash flow style businesses, if that one person, that one value goes away, the business dies.
Right, which is not what you want to.
So in my education, if I leave in my education, who's going to fill?
Are you taking investors in your education business?
I'm not. Who else is going to fulfill that, right? Because it wouldn't be a good bet for somebody else.
Yeah.
It wouldn't make any sense. So you have to be able to have trainable systems and processes in which others can be trained and fulfill the role. So really understanding the breakdown and analysis of what the business is, how it fulfills and how it's performing, current P&Ls, profit and loss statements, how long has it been in business? These are always all great questions to be asking. And then really asking, how do I get paid back? Because if you don't get a share of revenue, or if you don't get a dividend or anything like that, how do you actually get your 50 grand back? So if it's only through share value, that means you're going to have to sell that in the future. And how are you going to be able to do that to somebody?
So you're asking great questions. This is what if this person came up to you right now, you would give them this information.
Yes.
Okay. This is the top comment.
Oh, no.
2 hours ago.
That was a good lead in. Okay.
If you don't know how to do due diligence, you should not be investing in this company. He's coming to ask you. the questions on if he's considering investing, what would I want to know? What do I need to ask? What questions do I need to, like, how do I do this? And this person tells him, you shouldn't be investing if you don't know.
And if you don't know, you just
don't ever do it.
You go back to that labor job where you got $10 extra every month.
Grr. Okay. And then the other top comment says, so $50K for 5% means this company is currently worth $1 million. What makes it worth that? If you can't answer that, don't invest until you can. Personally, I generally steer clear of this kind of thing. Mixing money with friendship is tricky in business and often results in loss of both.
Right and wrong. Could be right, could be wrong.
Yeah. I think that's a good question, though. What makes it worth that? And you should be able to answer that question. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, that was similar to going into like what type of business is it? Yeah. What is it? How do you get paid back? Yeah. What are the details? Yep. Oh, and he also asked about like, hey, how do I set this up and have it protected? Yeah. An attorney can draw up the paperwork. Yeah. And then there's actual filings in which there will be percentage shares that are actually divvied up. Okay. So that part's actually the simplest part of all of this, is because you can go to pretty much any contract attorney at that point and go, this is our agreement, and it's typed out and it's shared with the attorney, and at that point they can help you make it legal. So that part's actually not as complicated as you would think. That's kind of like creative deals in real estate. Everyone's like, well, what's the paperwork on buying this subject to, and I want to sell it on a wrap on seller finance? Just crazy language that most people don't understand. You give it to the title company, and then you tell them what you want to do, and then they have it all drawn up. Like, just keep it simple.
We have this joke where like I'm a photographer, but I'm actually like really camera stupid. Like I'm not calling myself stupid. I'm calling myself camera stupid.
I know. I didn't.
He was going to yell at me.
I didn't say.
I really just don't know like a lot of the terms that you're supposed to know, like the technicalities of things. Like if my camera breaks, I'm like, Best Buy.
$150,000 a year. So.
Yes. So Todd is the same way, but with real estate.
Oh yeah.
So what he's saying, where he's like, you just give it to the title company and you just tell them do your job. That's exactly what he does every day.
Yeah. There's nobody worse with like, is it acronyms?
Yes.
Like people,
or like just short names for like anything.
Yeah, they abbreviate things, and then they look at you like they made it up 2 hours ago, so it's cool. And then they look at you like, why don't you understand my abbreviation? I'm not trying to keep you up with your abbreviations, bro.
I'm just trying to make money and live my life.
What's the newest one? The newest one's Novation.
What's that one?
Oh,
okay.
I don't know. JVing.
Okay.
And we have to, or private money. We have to. It's basically where you sell it on the MLS, but you don't own it. Which, by the way, has been happening forever, because there's literally a checkbox on the MLS that says, "I just have equitable interest," and you have a contract essentially, and you're marketing it. Okay. But we have to rename it every hour and a half to make it marketable for new people to buy things. It's stupid.
Well, I think those are really good. Like the questions you asked, I think they're very useful.
Yeah.
I think that's one that we haven't ever talked about before, but it's definitely a situation people could find themselves in if they're watching this. So.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of those things that grow too. So those new opportunities end up coming to you. Like, we won't go into the details of it, but you actually had this situation recently.
Did I?
Where someone was like, hey, trade me this money for a period of time for this.
Oh, yeah.
That's really what it was. Now, due to the situation, it was like a no-brainer. But like, what if that wasn't, somebody you had a great relationship with? What if that was a situation where like it was strictly for a financial return?
Yeah.
Those would have been the questions you would have been starting to ask. So you actually just had that happen.
Something kind of similar, yeah.
Yeah, and you didn't even realize it.
I didn't.
So those situations are going to keep coming, especially as you have a reputation for performing.
Okay. Next story, titled, "What can I do with $50 a month to help my future?"
$50 a month to help my future?
Yes.
Read.
Hello. I need advice on how... Oh, these people.
Punctuation?
Actually, punctuation's fine. It's just typos.
Oh.
Hello. I need advice on how and what I can do to invest in my future. I'm currently a college student in my third year, majoring in mechanical engineering, and I'm about $40,000 loans.
Not an engineer.
Whoa, not 40. $4,000 loans per semester, starting next semester. I currently work a part-time job to pay my rent, groceries, personal things, etc. What are the personal things? That's my first question. Anyway.
Two person.
I make about $700 a month and $500 goes towards rent. I have savings and worked all summer to pay for the semester's rent, so I'm set for this year. I've heard about HYS accounts, high yield savings.
See.
I've heard about high yield savings accounts and 401ks, but I'm not sure what to choose or if there's a better option out there. And also, if I were to go into one of those, I'm confused about what all the options out there are. I'm wondering what I can do to help my future self financially and how to begin. I'm really nervous about investing and all that, but I need to make a leap eventually. I think my main goal is to pay off my loans a little, pay off my loans. I think he's trying to say little to no stress, and if I will be able to do anything to assist my future self. Wow, that was tough.
So $50 a month extra.
And they're thinking about a high yield savings account or a 401k.
Anything you can do to untrain your mind from being an engineer. Engineers are so hard to work with. After working with a lot of people, thousands and thousands,
firefighters, police officers, doctors, lawyers.
I'm telling you, you name an industry. I've worked with them.
Dentist.
Yes. Doctors.
Okay.
Labor force. Seriously, you name it.
Factory worker.
Adult industry.
Oh, okay.
Seriously.
Okay.
Like name an industry, and we've worked with them.
Okay.
The absolute most difficult in the beginning is always engineer. You want to know why?
Why?
Engineer is very 1 + 1 = 2. And real estate and business is very 1 + 1 = what do you want it to equal?
Yeah, it's very abstract.
Yeah, it's abstract and it's always fluctuating. So the business of real estate, like you don't look at a piece of real estate and go, it's worth that, and until tomorrow it's worth that. I mean, it's constantly fluctuating. It's by opinion. Like you could have 10 people walk through a house and have 10 different valuations. It's very difficult on the engineer's mind that things aren't fixed.
Yeah, because there's a solution to every problem for them.
Yeah, that things aren't fixed. So it's very fluid. Like real estate's more of an art. Business is more of an art to me than it is just 1 + 1 = 2.
Put business in the art school in college.
yeah. Like so
I'm an art student.
Yeah, so there's some some struggle with engineer. Now, it's not to say. Now, what's funny is some of our absolute greatest success stories of students are engineers also.
Yeah.
But they had to get over that. Like they literally had to spend 6 months of being okay investing in something that just not knowing every specific detail of everything. So that might sound weird, but like literally start broadening your perspective and mindset and looking at things from different angles, not just this. How do I get this to a fixed number? Because it just doesn't work like that in business and or finance, because there's constantly things being thrown at you that are unexpected, right? Life happens. So therefore you have to be flexible. You're like, well, I can actually create an equation for that, put it in a spreadsheet. And don't be a spreadsheet warrior. Just learn.
Worse than bankers?
Ooh. That's a really good question.
You said spreadsheet warrior, and I immediately thought of my
that's
mother.
a really good question. Engineer or banker? Bankers are more stubborn. So engineers, I think, are more difficult mentally to work with in the beginning, but I think bankers are more stubborn. So I think the engineers actually get it faster, but bankers want to like hold on
to what they already know.
I want to hold on to this traditional way of thinking. Yeah. Yeah. And they're around it all day long too. So first things first, what I would do is gain outside perspective. So if you got an extra $50 a month, read a lot. Go read how someone who started from nothing became something. Go read psychology of money books. Go read books on mindset. Go read books on grit. Go read books on self-accountability and awareness. And you're going to start to realize that, yes, you have an understanding of mechanical engineering, or you have an engineering style of thinking. And that's just such a small sliver of the whole pie that if you can gain some extra perspective, it'll help you a lot.
So I'm sure it'll come as no surprise to you that not a single comment said that.
I'm shocked.
We usually are like praising this, like subreddit, we're usually like, they're doing pretty good.
Yeah,
Like,
so, sometimes they do pretty decent.
yeah, this is
They
not
don't
it.
have a great track record today.
All right. So top comment. I would say the best thing for you to do is to put into a savings account. This will help you establish an emergency fund, which can really help as you navigate any turbulence in college and in your first job may throw at you. Glad you're starting to think about saving money so early in life. That's a great habit to develop. So that's not too bad. I'm telling you to save it, but no.
It's not terrible, but it's basically based out of fear.
Yeah.
You can't get anywhere. You're not going to save yourself anywhere.
No.
You just can't. You have to create and put it to work. And the only way you can do that in a healthy fashion is to learn perspective and understanding and awareness.
Now, I understand if they were like, spend $30 a month, $40 a month on education and put put part of it away.
Self-educate.
Yeah, self-educate, put some away. I understand if they're like, okay, well, I have nothing in savings, so maybe I put like half of it away and spend half of it on books, like whatever.
I'm not telling you to have no reserves.
Yeah. All right.
If it's only $50 a month, you have no reserves anyways. And by the way, the 50 is not going to get to anything.
Yeah. Okay, so
you could sneeze the wrong direction and that money's going to be gone.
It's gone. This one's going to be the best comment. I think this one takes the cake for the day.
Ooh.
So remind you, they're asking you how to spend $50 a month. Okay.
Yeah.
This probably isn't what you're looking for, but spend part of it on a good multivitamin. That will help your future.
A good multivitamin. That's like the guy.
This is our personal finance.
That's totally the guy that just discovered multivitamins. And like he feels better after like 3 weeks, and he's just telling everybody, like this would actually solve your problem.
Like this is r/personal finance. He's looking for how to make more money, and this guy comes in and tells him to buy multivitamins.
Start with multivitamins, and you start wholesaling them, and you become a legal drug dealer.
I can't even make fun of him because one day this guy, the multivitamin guy, might be a millionaire and write a book, and it's going to say step 1, find a good multivitamin.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Works at GNC.
So I think we have time for one more.
Okay.
I'm going to read you 2 titles and I'll let you pick which one you want to hear.
Okay, cool.
All right. First title, Seeking Advice for Investing in My Late 40s. Okay. Second title, What would you do if you had $24K savings and $57,000 in debt before heading into 2024?
Oh, man, I actually like both of them. Let's do the second one.
Okay. This one is titled, What would you do if you had $24,000 in savings and $57,000 in debt before heading into 2024? I have $24,000 in savings and $57,000 in debt and want to start a business. Any suggestions on how to navigate finances? I have also been entrepreneurial? Yes, I've always been entrepreneurial. And that doesn't sound right coming out of my mouth, but entrepreneurial. However, made some mistakes, obviously, and have ended up working on jobs that I didn't love, neither earned enough, and as a result, debt started increasing year by year. I want to start fresh and build a business that I love with part of the savings I have, but with all the debt, not sure whether I should pay off a little and invest some and also start a new business, or pay off it all and then start over again. Any advice would be appreciated. Note, $23K of my $57,000 in debt is car financing, and the rest are CC, loans, and lines of credit.
Perfect. So this is a simple one. First thing you do is you get all of your debt onto a plan.
Yes.
And after it's on a plan, you work on creating. Who cares?
Okay.
If it's on a plan, who cares? You got it. You got it anyways. The only way you're going to pay it off is through creation anyways. So the best thing you can do is take it off of your mind and take it off of your shoulders, take that weight off. And you do that by putting it on a good plan. And a plan just means that the debt is amortized, which means even if you pay the minimum payment,
it's going to get paid off.
It'll be paid off in 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Right? So it's amortized over a certain schedule. So credit card debt, it's not amortized. It's just revolving debt. Right? So you can make the minimum payment on a credit card. It's going to take you 40 years to pay off. That's not a plan. It's basically interest only. So we want to get some sort of consolidation done where we get it all together. We make 1 or 2 payments, and even with a minimum payment, we're paid off in 48 to 60 months. Call it.
What do you think if they owe $57,000 a monthly payment look like for that? Like if you were to get on a plan.
So since it's a mix of different, so like let's say you said 23 of it's the car.
Yes.
So the car's probably $500 a month.
Yeah.
The credit card, I don't know how much did he say that how much the credit cards were?
No.
So let's just say the rest of it's credit cards
and
loans. Those are probably $1,000 a month.
Okay.
or $1,500 a month. So he's got a couple grand there probably. So if you can just amortize that over his schedule, which the best part is through a consolidation, like who cares even what the interest rate is? One, it's going to be lower than credit cards for sure. But if you have some sort of consolidation there, what ends up happening is that you're going to make that same $2,000 a month payment, but it'll be paid off in 4 years.
Okay.
And there's a good chance that your payment actually goes down due to it actually being consolidated and due to, interest rates being lowered. So a lot of times people will see like, oh, I only have to pay $1,300 a month now. If you just keep your original payment, we're assuming that it's $2,000 right now, you'll be debt free in 18 months.
Yeah.
So just have it on a plan. That'll take the weight off. Just get it on a plan and then focus on creation, because it sounds like you want to be entrepreneurial anyways. So
they're starting with $24,000 in savings is light years ahead of half people we read about on these stories.
Yeah. Yeah, that should be used for creation and investment. That's
this went from somebody who had no savings and $50 and $10 every month to like this. Like when you compare that, this person, like there's so much potential here. Even though you owe $57,000, like
who cares?
There's so much potential there. They can do so much with it. They just need to do the right thing.
Yeah, it doesn't need to take from you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Naturally, the top comment, you should be treating that credit card debt as an emergency. You're not ready to start any business that requires capital.
Yeah, it's just not true.
Have you met Todd Fleming?
It's just not.
How much debt did you have?
Or any I don't know any successful entrepreneurs that were in a quote unquote situation that was ready to take on capital or ready to take on like anything.
And it's not like it's all like, I mean, yes, like it's still $57,000, but 23K of it is a car. So like, it's not like he spent, like it's all spent on stupid like little things. Like he just accumulated all of this debt. Like 23K is a car that he, probably drives every day. And like,
so he's got 34K in loans and credit card. Whatever. Just get it consolidated on a plan. You'll be good.
Yeah. There's not really any other comments on this one.
No. I feel like that was a good one to end on.
Okay.
So if you guys are enjoying this, make sure to like and comment, and actually down below in the comments, like, let us know what questions you might have in financial stuff like this, because we would love to answer them in the future.
I would love to like get to a point where we could read like DMs and comments and things from people and put them on the episode. I
actually had a couple of DMs that, we'll put them on next time.
Okay.
We'll put them on next time. And then I did have a conversation the other day, which just so happened to fit. It was the same number for an investment in a friend that wanted to do a business. This one happened to be an HVAC company. So way more equitable.
Yeah.
See, like when we talked about equity versus cash flow. Like that was super equitable. That was one of the things that we talked about. Was like, hey, this is like super scalable. So I think this is something that you could look at.
Okay. I think that's it then. That's a wrap.
Until next week.
Thank you.
Happy hands.
Okay.